Hey guys, what is up? It is No Help and welcome back to another video today. So this blog just came out, Prepare for Sailing, launching November 19th. There's a video with No Monkey, I've already watched it, pretty good video. So sailing technical pre-release information. We're committed to ensuring the launch of sailing runs as smoothly as possible. To achieve this, we're adjusting our usual release process to allow extra time for testing and stability improvements before everyone sets sail. Sailing will be added to the game 2 weeks before it becomes available for 2 players. So during this period, we'll be monitoring the content in a live, staff-only beta world to help us identify and resolve any potential issues ahead of launch. So here's how launch day would look, showing all the different times, obviously, right? So please note that once game worlds come back online, the update will have been deployed, despite not being accessible to players yet. As a result of this, the Max Cape and its perks will no longer be usable, and everyone will officially have level 1 sailing, which will be reflected on the high scores right away upon logout. You won't be able to start the Pandemonium quest that unlocks the skill until sailing makes sailing accessible. Interesting. So yeah, you won't be able to use your Max Cape and all of that stuff, and we'll all have level 1 sailing. So Sailors Wanted, this is a very cool little picture right here. So the sailing skill is coming to Old School RuneScape November 19th. Are you prepared? There are no requirements needed to start sailing. Simply speak to Will and Annie on the docks of Port Sarim and complete the Pandemonium quest. Very interesting. We did this in the beta, if you guys remember. Speak to the shipwright at port to visit the shipyard. At the shipyard, you can customize and upgrade your ship. So this is the shipwright right here. So to get a head start on building and upgrading your ships, you may want to stock up on the following items. So this is items that Jagex is going to basically tell us that we're going to need. So I need to personally get some more swamp tar, swamp paste, maybe some ropes, tons of different bars and nails, and tons of different logs, and obviously the planks as well. And for those who wish to go all out to fully experience everything new the skill has to offer, you may want to complete these quests and reach these skill levels. So Children of the Sun, the Corsair Curse, the Fremenic Isles, Royal Trouble, Lunar Diplomacy, Making Friends with My Arm, Song of the Elves, and Recipe for Disaster, the Pirate Pete section of it. And these are like the highest skills, obviously, to be able to do everything in sailing. So 92 woodcutting, 92 construction, 84 fletching, 77 hunter, 65 attack, 74 mining, 94 smithing, 73 crafting, 87 thieving, 65 range, 91 fishing, 93 cooking, 92 farming, 89 herblore, and 78 slayer. Now obviously you don't need all of these. This is just to be able to do all of the content, like cook the highest level food. I think it's called what is it, heron or something like that. Some of the newest foods that are coming into the game, right? Build the best things, you know. So obviously I'm max, so not going to be a problem for me, but yeah, I would get working on those quests for sure. And they said to prioritize construction a lot. So the sailing skill has a wide variety of activities to try, starting with sea charting and port tasks. So this is like kind of the little levels here. So level 1, sea charting takes place all across the ocean, letting you discover and track the unique things you find out at sea to fill out your captain's log. So it's sort of like the collection log for sailing. I personally wasn't the biggest fan of this when I was doing it in the beta, but I don't know. It's one of those things where it's when it actually comes to the game, I'm probably going to end up really liking it. However, I did sort of like these port tasks. Again, you can do this at level 1 sailing. Port tasks are picked up at the port notice board and require you to transport goods by boat or defeat sea creatures for payment at the local port master. So you either get a courier task or a wanted task. So the wanted task, you go out, kill some sea creature with a cannon, and then bring back the head or some proof of it, and you'll get some sailing XP and some rewards for it. And then the courier tasks are, say, take this boat from Karamja to wherever, Falador, or I guess Falador already doesn't have a dock, right? And then you get the reward there. So kind of interesting, 2 different ways of training sailing that you can start, I guess, at level 1. Continue progressing through sailing to access shipwreck salvaging and barracuda trials. So shipwreck salvaging looks like it starts at level 15 and the barracuda trials at level 30. So this is the intensity method and the AFK method. So first of all, with the AFK method right here, we have the shipwreck salvaging, which only level 15 to get access to, which is pretty damn cool. So shipwreck salvaging sees you recovering lost items from wreckages at sea, which can be sorted through to find loot at the salvaging station. So you bring all the loot back to the port, go up to the salvaging station, which we did in the beta, and then you get some rewards for it. This is the very AFK method, so probably going to be doing this a lot when editing videos. Then we've got the Barracuda Trials, which is sort of like the Hallowed Sepulchre of sailing. Agility obstacle, I guess you could call it, but you got to do it on a boat. So Barracuda Trials are high-intensity challenges that put your navigation skills to the test, the first of which being known as the Tempor Tantrum. So yeah, we did this, I think, in the beta as well, where you just, you have to treat your ship as almost like an agility obstacle, avoiding all the thunder, and I think you have a time limit to do it too, but this is going to be the fastest XP in the game that I know of right now. The basics. So to get access to sailing, you will need to complete the quest called the Pandemonium. There is no requirements to start it, but please note that the quest and skills are members only. So on launch, simply head to Port Sarim to speak to Will and Annie nearby the dock. So it looks like it's going to be members only. We specifically designed this quest to feel like an easy way of learning the mechanics of boat navigation without it feeling too overwhelming. It will teach you how to sail a raft, which is the starter boat for sailing, unlocked at level 1. We know that many players will want to hit their spacebar as fast as possible to get the quest finished quickly. However, we'd recommend taking some time with this quest to familiarize yourself with navigation, especially the sailing side panel, which is a key part of how you will engage with the skill. So yeah, we did this again during the beta, so if you did play the beta, you kind of already know what to expect, right? And then obviously once you complete it, you will get your very own raft and captain's log. Congratulations. So during the quest, you will be introduced to a new location called the Pandemonium. The Pandemonium acts as somewhat of a hub for sailing. Not only does it have all the sailing and amenities you'll need, but it also has a range of helpful characters who can assist you with your sailing adventures. So to return to the Pandemonium, you can of course just sail there yourself. That said, you can also get there via the boat from Port Sarim, the same one that goes to and from Music Point. Okay, so we've got the captain's log. So the captain's log is an essential sailing tool that you'll want to have on you when you're doing both port tasks and sea charting. More on them below. So to use the captain's log, simply click on it in your inventory and a menu will pop up. You can swap between two views using the button in the top right corner, one that shows your current port task and one for tracking your sea charting progress. If lost, you can reclaim your captain's log either from your cargo hold, which is on your boat, that little chest, or from a new character found on the Pandemonium. God damn it. Anyways, this is sort of what it looks like right here, of course. Very cool interface. We'll have to obviously get used to this. It shows the completions of the sea, the ocean, the level requirements, sort of where you are. And then you can obviously swap it back and forth to sort of see the different tasks you have to do, the courier tasks. So boat management. So you can also manage, recover, and customize your raft and any future boats by speaking to the shipwright found at most major ports. Who will take you through to an area called the shipyard. We did this again in the beta where you it's like a little separate dock and you kind of get to customize your ship there. So you'll find this guy at most of the docks in the game, and this is the shipwright icon on the map. Okay, kind of looks like a piece of bacon. So the shipyard. So the shipyard is where you're able to customize your boat, just like construction. You want to bring your hammer and saw along with the required materials, since the shipyard doesn't have its own bank. Yikes, they should have added a bank there, but hey. But don't worry, as you level up your sailing, you'll unlock ports that offer more convenient access to the shipyard. Ports with nearby banks, among other things. So click on the boat schematics board, modify or upgrade parts of your boat such as the hull, keel, sails, etc. Make them stronger. This will help you withstand dangers at sea such as enemies or stormy conditions. You can also add or change facilities on your boat by boarding the gangplank and clicking directly on the facility slot you wish to change. There are loads of facilities available on launch. We won't spoil them all here. So some more pictures right here. This is the board you click that. This is sort of what it looks like. Obviously, it looks a lot better than this blurry picture, but as you can see, these little white dots on there, it's sort of like the construction where you click it and then you have the option to build. So early game sailing, we can imagine a lot of players will be wondering what they should do after completing the quest. So first off, check out the sailing skill menu so that you're able to see the general breakdown of what's included in sailing. Introducing training methods and progressional milestones that are relevant to you. So this is sort of what it's going to look like. We're going to have sailing, boats, ports, mooring points, port tasks, sea charting, shipwreck salvaging, barracuda trials, core boat parts, boat facilities, and crewmates. So quite a bit of options there. Once you're happy, we recommend getting those early levels in by completing low-level port tasks and sea charting activities around the Port Sarum and the Pandemonium. The Pandemonium, geez. So early game sea charting. So to engage with the sea charting, open your captain's log and take a look at what you can chart. You can filter activities by requirements, area, and completion status, then farther by clicking the question mark panels. To start off with, you will not have access to every charting tool other than the captain's log, which you received from the quest, and the spyglass. Simply click to interact with certain chartable locations. So basically during the beta, there was like some shining thing in the water and you clicked it and that was the sea charting. So it doesn't seem like it's too complicated, but I'm sure you'll get more tools in the future, right? So obviously like additional charting tools such as the current duck will be locked behind quests and a higher sailing level. So don't be worried if you can't do them straight away. I think we were able to do the duck one. I can't remember, but without getting into spoiler territory, we recommend having the following non-sailing requirements unlocked for sea charting. So 10 fishing, 30 smithing the knight's sword, diving gear from the Pirate's Recipe for Disaster quest. Okay, I have that in the bank anyways, so that's nice. So early game port tasks. A nice and easy way to rack up sailing XP is by taking courier task or two. While you're out at sea, courier tasks can be taken via notice boards found at most major ports. Initially, you'll be using the boards at Port Sarum and the Pandemonium, but as you level up, more will become available. You will start with 1 task slot, increasing up to 5 as your sailing level increases. The second slot opens up at level 7 sailing. So obviously the more you can kind of have with you, you can drop one off here, go pick another one up there. It just makes it easier if you can do more than one, obviously, right? A cargo hold will already be built on your boat at level 1 so that you have a place to store your cargo. So be sure that you have checked you are bringing the correct amount of cargo. Oh my god, that was a nightmare on the beta. Sometimes it would say grab 2, and I'd grab 1 and then drive all the way there, or sail all the way there, and then it's like, oh, you only have 1, right? So that you don't have to take 2 trips, exactly. So additionally, don't forget to take it out of your cargo hold again. Yeah, so you have to actually take it out of your cargo hold, then get off the ship. We'll get used to it, but yeah, it can be annoying. Early game facilities and boat upgrades. So once you hit level 15 sailing, you will unlock the first big sailing upgrade on your account: the ability to buy and navigate a small boat. So this is an important milestone, as they contain 7 customizable facility slots as opposed to the raft, which can only hold 1 facility. So facilities allow you to use your boat in a new way. For example, in the early game, we recommend building your very own salvaging hook, which will give you access to a new training method, shipwreck salvaging. This is an AFK style activity that involves you navigating to a shipwreck, interacting with your hook facility, and collecting salvage, which can be sorted at a salvaging station back at port. All boat facilities and upgrades have a construction and sailing requirement. However, you can pay the shipwrights a fee to build most of the basic facilities and upgrades for you if you do not have the construction requirements for them. I like that because, you know, lower level players, construction is really expensive to train, so they can kind of like hop into the content right away if they just have a little bit of gold to pay the guy. So here's a list of upgrades which have skippable construction requirements, so if you're willing to pay a fee to the shipwright. So the hull, the sails, the helm, the keel, the cannon, the salvaging hook, and the cargo hold, but it's only up to, say, mithril or mahogany. So the amount of gold paid for each facility scales with how advanced each facility is. So you'll be paying the shipwright more to create a mahogany hull versus an oak hull, for example. I'm kind of curious to see what the prices will be, but I already have 99 construction, so I don't have to worry about that myself. So later game facilities or upgrades above mithril cannot have their construction requirements bypassed, so training your construction level within the 60 to 70 range will benefit you in the long term. Currently, the highest construction requirement for any boat upgrade is level 84 construction. Before you panic, please note that this isn't required to engage with sailing, but we're just giving you an idea of where the highest upgrade sits, so you can judge whether you want to get your construction level higher before sailing comes out. Stocking up on items like planks, metal bars, nails, rope, swamp tar, logs, and flax is also a good idea, as this will allow you to upgrade your boat as soon as you hit the level requirements. Be sure to have some handy, especially as prices on the Grand Exchange might increase when demand gets higher. Some items such as new resources, logs, ore, and some fabrics coming with sailing will not be available yet, and you may have to go out and explore new islands to find them. Some items will only have become craftable, like bolt of linen. If you're a main, we reckon you'll be able to make some serious GP from trading new materials on the Grand Exchange when they first launch due to sheer demand. But as an Ironman, I'm going to have to do this all myself. So mid-game, levels 30 to 55. So at level 30 sailing, you will unlock another training method, the Barracuda Trials. The first trial, you will gain access to the Temper Tantrum Trial. We recommend using a small boat for this activity with relevant upgrades to withstand the storm and rapids. Around this stage, you'll also gain access to bounty tasks and cannon facilities, so consider getting your boat ready for naval battle. We did this obviously during the beta. It was a lot of fun, but it was pretty hard. At level 40 sailing, you'll unlock access to your very first crewmate jobless gym. Hooray. You can manage crewmates via the crew register located on the Pandemonium. So yeah, hire jobless gym and then you can manage your crew. The crew register right here. Lots of info. So crew aren't essential for training sailing. However, at this stage, you might want to consider getting a crewmate so that you can manage your facilities much more effectively. Crewmates can operate any facility you desire. However, different NPCs will have higher proficiency in certain skills than others. So some crewmates may have additional requirements to recruit them, such as those who are linked to quests. So once you're at the correct level, simply speak to them to see if you can get them on board. I think it's a really cool idea if they make some quests at like say 50 or 60 sailing where you can get a crewmate that's like really good at something. I think that's a really good idea. When you hit level 45 sailing, you might want to start the highly anticipated Troubled Tortigan quests, which introduces you to the first major island launching with sailing, the Great Conch. Just make sure that you have the following requirements met to start the Troubled Tortigan. So, obviously, the first quest, 45 sailing, 51 slayer, 48 construction, 45 hunter, 40 woodcutting, and 34 crafting. Honestly, pretty low requirements. Most people probably have this or can easily prepare for it. So on the Great Conch, you'll get access to plenty of new resources. So I'm assuming some of the trees, some of the new fish, maybe some of the new ore. New training methods for existing skills. We're not going to spoil what's there as we can't wait for you all to discover for yourselves, right? But all we'll say is you can take a look back at this blog to see whether blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm going to try and do that within the first couple of hours. So later game, so as you continue your journey in sailing, you'll unlock new content and gain access to fresh areas packed with exciting rewards. By level 55 sailing, you'll have mastered the fundamentals of the skill, and we hope that you'll have much more confidence in your abilities as a sailor. Get ready to face tougher foes at sea and navigate the more perilous waters of Gielinor. We won't spoil too much this close to launch, but you can expect tougher Barracuda trials, deadlier sketches of ocean, so I guess more sort of storms and stuff, new crewmates, islands, and plenty of more to discover. So preparing for sailing for iron accounts, so stocking up on items like logs, ropes, planks, metal bars, along with a high construction level will be very helpful, especially for those who stand alone, as you don't want to be stuck on launch day grinding for these when you could be sailing. Yeah, imagine how I gotta chop some trees quick. If you're an iron player, consider whether you need to increase your crafting and farming levels too, since some ship upgrades require fabrics. Sails and trawling nets have crafting requirements, 73 crafting for cotton sails, which will be made from items gathered via farming, 71 to grow cotton. So kind of high requirements there. We also understand that items like cannonballs are typically disproportionately harder to obtain for irons in comparison to mains. With the launch of sailing, we're also introducing a high-level forge which has improved cannonball smithing rates. Effectively, the forge reduces the time it takes to smith one set of cannonballs from 8 ticks to 4 ticks. This includes the smithing of steel cannonballs for the dwarf multi-cannon. Additionally, the double mold from the Giant's Foundry can also be used here, so you're going to be able to make cannonballs pretty damn fast. So for hardcore iron players, beware. There are large areas of the sea that are multi-combat, meaning that your boat can get attacked by many sources. If you are on an island, death will be treated in the same way as it currently works on land in the game. So if your boat capsizes, it will not count as a death for hardcores. However, you will be put back to your last port at 1 HP. As poison or disease can affect you at sea, we'd recommend always bringing repair kits and letting others explore first, at least until you know whether it's safe to do so. So the repair kits, I believe, repaired the boat when it got damaged. I kind of remember that a little bit. So please note, if a player reaches 0 HP while on a boat, it is not a safe death, so be warned. Our last piece of advice is beware of any drinks you may find from the sea. Some have some crazy effects, so if you find a drink and you're a hardcore, maybe just Google it first. So for Ultimate Ironman, Ultimate Ironman players will be able to access the cargo hold, but they will have certain account type limitations. For example, fewer storage slots and fewer cannonball storage slots. Some things you might want to do is to get a plank sack from Mahogany Homes, since your boat will require a lot of planks to upgrade it. Damn, I never even thought about that. Additionally, a log basket from Forestry might be useful when upgrading your boat using new planks. Generally, we think Ultimate accounts will benefit from getting some noted planks and bars ready in time for sailing. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I would never want to play an Ultimate myself. So yeah, that's a wrap. The next time we will see you, it will be launch day. Crazy. Who will be the first to 99 sailing? Could it possibly somebody be reading this post right now? I will not be the first. We can't wait to meet you. So sailing is going to be our biggest update yet, and we would like to say a massive thank you to our community for all of your support throughout development. We're extremely proud of what we built for you, and we can't wait to see what you think when you get to jump in. The team will be closely monitoring your feedback throughout the launch period and beyond, so please make sure to send us your feedback through our usual channels. As this is such a large update, there may be unexpected issues that occur. Rest assured that any fixes or changes need to be made. We'll be ready, okay? For larger fixes, keep an eye out on the game update news post when that goes out. Until then, future sailors. Well, that was kind of a lot to sort of read and go through. I'm really excited for the launch of sailing. I actually did get a couple of days off work. I got the 19th, the 20th, and the 21st off of work, so we're going to be grinding quite a bit. I don't even know what level we'll get to, but I need to also stock up on some of the paste, swamp paste and stuff like that. I don't know, today I also was just like, maybe I'll need some bolts of cloth, so I just was like, while I was doing my farm run, I grabbed some of those. Like, I have no idea what I'm going to need for sailing. I also decided to start cooking these karambwans because there's going to be a new sort of karambwan coming out that I'll probably just fish instead. So, yeah, I guess we're almost 120 cooking now. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Let me know down in the comments below if you are excited for sailing and what your plans are. If you got the day off work or if you're just going to call in sick. You never know, right? But yeah, if you did watch the whole video, comment cooking down in the comments below. Appreciate you as always. Thank you so much for watching the video, and I will catch you in the next one. See ya later.